Hello, welcome to West Ham Grumble here on Irons United. Is Antonio going to be dropped for the next game against Wolves on Saturday? After Saturday's performance, there are many out there who say that he should be dropped. There are many out there who also say, well, no, he actually had a decent game. Let's analyse this first of all. He was still the powerhouse. He was making runs. He put some great crosses in during the game. But that ball that he put through to Haller, he should have done a lot better with that. We'll talk about that in a minute. The header that he had, that the keeper saved, that apparently was a great save, but actually it was a poorly placed header. He had another missed opportunity. He was losing the ball quite a few times. So it was a kind of game of, well, good Antonio, bad Antonio. Now this show is not about me. This is about you. I want to know from you guys, what do you think of Antonio's performance on Saturday? And also the last couple of games, really. Has he had a little bit of a dip there? It hasn't quite worked out for him, has it? But is he still one of our better players? Is he still the focal point for us up top? Haller is still a bit hit and miss. Bowen is probably our best prospect up there right now. He had another impressive game for me. But what about Antonio? Now, there are calls for him to be dropped after that poor ball that he put in for Haller when he was cleaning on goal. For me, actually, they were both at fault. The ball was slightly a bit too behind, but Haller had actually run too far. He should have checked his run. I said this straight after the game in our live review. He should have checked his run. He wasn't really thinking about Haller, where David Luiz was actually going to cover the ball, to cover the cross. So he knew he was going to have to come back. And that's why Antonio was so angry, vexed at that situation, that Haller actually ran on too quickly for me. Yes, it was a poor ball. It was kind of a curling away from goal. You know, if anything, you should have put it, a square ball, more. But Haller should have checked his run as well. Then it would have been a simple tap-in. His general play is still a little bit clumsy at times. Whilst he's still got a lot of power and does a lot of running, it is still, but that's the Antonio way. We know that. We know it's going to be a bit hit and miss. It's going to be a bull in a china shop. But we also need that. We need that energy up there. Haller doesn't really give it most of the time. Bowen now does, but a lot of the time, especially in the first half, he was covering Ngakia as well. He had a couple of opportunities. On another day, they would have gone in as well. So, look, our performance on Saturday was about missed opportunities. We could have beaten Arsenal, just like Liverpool. We could have beaten Liverpool, but we didn't. That's the thing. There are lots of positives to take from the game, but there are also fans out there saying, well, I'm fed up of hearing about positives. I'm fed up of hearing about, coulda, shoulda, woulda. We lost. We didn't get any points. That's the crux of it. That's another game where we've lost 3 points. In fact, we lost a point at least. We definitely deserved the draw there, but if you don't take your chances, if the likes of Antonio and Haller especially aren't taking their chances, Haller had a good opportunity as well. Bowen, he tried, but again, I wouldn't say he missed opportunities. They were just unfortunate misses, let's say. Now, the question is, as I've said, is Antonio going to be dropped for Wolverhampton Wanderers game on Saturday? And also, are we going to be there to see it? As we know right now, there are discussions taking place whether future games will be held behind closed doors because obviously of this COVID-19 coronavirus or whatever you want to call it these days. There are lots of things in play right now. For me, I would have Antonio there, no question. But we've got to accept that some games he's going to be on fire, and some games he's going to be a bit calamitous. The boy you want to leave in the dressing room. I think we had a bit of both on Saturday. There were some bad points, there were some good points. Let's get on to the header. The cross came in, and look, I don't think he was in the right position. His body wasn't in the right position. He was a bit under the ball as well. So maybe he needs to look at that, and he needs to look at his footwork a little bit. Just like a boxer, you know, it's your footwork, always your footwork. And he needs to just, instead of ball watch a little bit, just actually move his feet a little bit. The next thing is to say, actually not be reactionary. Think about that header. Think about where you want to place it. We're all saying, screaming, you know, hit it down, you know, make the keeper work. Others would say, well, actually, you know, hit it high, loop it over the keeper. Number one rule with headers, always try and hit it down, because you're going to be furthest away from the keeper's hands. It's harder to dive down to actually stretch up. So I think, you know, possibly, you know, either way would have been good. Loop it over the keeper's head, which would have been risky, especially for the quality that he may have not had at the time. I think a much better option would have been to go for hit it down on the ground. Look, and we could have scored. We could have got 3 or 4 goals. They had the lion's share of the possession, but it wasn't exactly vintage performance from Arsenal. We had a lot more going for us at times. We were a lot more direct. The other thing you've got to think about is Moyes. You know, tactically here. Tactically, I think he had it right in the way we were playing, but again, substitutions were lacking. Noble was on the pitch too long, in my opinion. Anderson just came on way too late to be effective. He needed to change that up a little bit. He needs to look at that and not just sort of hope that we can. You know, we were still in the game until they scored. You know, the VAR got us, but, you know, it was a fair decision. It was a right decision. It was just horrible decision for us. But, you know, it is. But you get the sensation that Moyes just wants to stay in the game as opposed to trying to kill, you know, go for the juggling, kill it off. Maybe should have taken Antonio off. Maybe should have, taken Haller off. Maybe changed it up a little bit. Maybe brought on Anderson and taken off Noble. Go really adventurous. Snodgrass came on, you know, had a little bit of an effect, I suppose. But again, our delivery wasn't that great. From the corners, it wasn't that great, I've got to say. So we've got to look at that. Look, there's lots of room for improvement, but at the same time, we lost. That's it. You know, we've got to be negative. That's why it's a grumble. We've got to be negative, I suppose, to a certain degree. But at the same time, I'm still positive because I think it was a good performance. Just like after Liverpool, it was a good performance. If it wasn't for our wayward finishing in our final third antics, I thought we could have actually done them. But Antonio needs to step it up for the next game. I would not drop him. There are calls for him to be dropped. You know, within the camp, you know, people are looking at him, tutting at him, I'm sure. But I would say, you know, focus your attention on Haller a little bit more as well. That partnership needs to be improved a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You know, what about Antonio? Should he be dropped? Should he continue? Should we give him the benefit of the doubt? Does he have just one more game to prove himself? What about only playing him for about 50, 60 minutes? Maybe just bring somebody else on. Maybe have Antonio, drop back into or onto the right wing. Maybe put Bowen up there with him. Change it up a little bit. Let's see if we can be a bit more creative, but also a bit more clinical in front of goal. That's what we're missing. Look, 3 points lost, a point lost. We go on to Wolves. That's going to be a really tough game. Watch out for all the previews and the rest of the videos coming this week. We've got lots of live shows and stuff. Obviously, depending on what happens with the ability to actually go and see the game, we'll change our videos accordingly. But check us out for the rest of the week. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments below. Click that bell next to the subscribe button. Come over to Irons United. Tell all your friends, come over to us because we're talking sense. Well, some of us are. Anyway, right, catch you again. Ta-da.